2,
3,
4, 5,
6,
7,
8.
9.
What does that remind you of? Of an old cell phone? Now let's take a look at this. That right there is Born This Way by Lady Gaga. That's actually the #1 download ringtone according to iTunes. Did you guys know that 85% of Americans own a cell phone, making it the #1 cell phone gadget? I can say that we are the generation of living in the era of cell phones. I can remember my first cell phone that I had. I can only make a phone call and only had a few features in there in games. Cell phones have come a long way. We can say that technology has transformed the way we communicate through our cell phones, or nowadays called smartphones. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the first cell phone was born, the present cell phone, and the future of cell phones, or known as smartphones. First, in 1920, the Federal Communications Commission, also known as FCC, assigned 12 to 24 radio frequency to car phones, which only those 12 to 24 car phones could only make a phone call one at a time, which people had to wait 30 minutes for them just to get a dial tone. Meaning, imagine waiting for just 30 minutes for a phone call. Wow, we can barely even wait 2 minutes sitting at a stoplight for waiting for the light to turn green. And potential customers were 5 to 10 years on a waiting list. 5 to 10 years. We barely even get anxious when a new cell phone is coming out to the market and we want to get it right away. Now imagine 5 to 10 years waiting list. Wow. And it wasn't all the way until 1983 that the first commercial cell phone was used and approved here in the United States. It was the Motorola Dynatec. It was a 13 by 1 3/4 by 3.5 inches in dimension. It weighed about 28 ounces, and back then the nickname for that was a brick. Literally, it was like a brick. The retail price back then was $3,995. Wow, could you guys imagine paying $3,900 for a phone? And this cell phone, it took 10 hours to charge, and it only had a memory of 30 dialing locations. 30. That's probably the phone calls I make in a day. Now that we've seen how back then the cell phones were, let's fast forward to today's cell phones. The present cell phones. In developing countries, cell phones are their main source of communications. For example, in Zambia, Coca-Cola takes payments to truck drivers. Consumers text payments to gas stations, dry cleaners, and other shops. Cell phone cameras are able to capture videos in unforgettable moments. For example, in Tunisia, cell phones were able to capture a video and images of the first protest back in December, being able to spread the word around the world. Now that we've seen today's cell phones, let's see what the future of cell phones bring to us. The future of cell phones, or known as smartphones, it said that back in 2010, the total number of smartphones worldwide was at 570 million cell phones out there. And it's expected that by the year 2013 to jump all the way to 1 billion cell phones out there, according to a Newsweek article called The Android. Yes, from 3D movie theaters to 3D televisions, you guessed it, 3D cell phones. Yes, back in Barcelona, Spain, last February, in the Mobile World Congress, LG introduced its first 3D cell phone, called the Optimus 3D. This Optimus 3D cell phone has a 4.3 touchscreen incapable of displaying three-dimensional images without the actual glasses, and a camera that allows you to take pictures and videos in three-dimensional. Now I've talked about the first cell phone was born, the present cell phone, and the future of cell phones known as smartphones. Cell phones have changed our lives and how far technology has gone and transformed the way we communicate through our cell phones or smartphones. Now, before I finish, I want to ask you guys something. Could you live your life without a cell phone? Thank you.
One, two,
3,
4, 5,
6,
7,
8, 9.